Beautiful look as the ball rolls to start out the second half of play. No substitutions for either side as Dunga looks to lay claim to his third straight 1-0 victory to start reign number 2. Kind of joked that Dunga almost killed Jogo Bonito his first time in charge. Now he's back to finish the job, but it's not exactly true. The previous 2 scorelines have been 1-0 Brazil victories over Colombia and Ecuador, but we have seen flashes of creativity. Dunga learning something on the sidelines after getting relieved of his responsibilities after the South African World Cup. Hired July 24th of 2006, post Germany. Fired July 24th, 2010. I think when they called him back, he said, just make sure it's not July 24th. So July 22nd is when he stepped in for Felipao. As you might notice, they have a tendency to change coaches right after World Cups. Neymar kicked to the ground.
And this is what we hope doesn't happen too often in the second half. All these star players, maybe frustrations, will be getting the best of some of the players on the pitch in this fantastic rivalry there. Neymar just clipped right on the shin.
This is a rivalry that goes back generations. First meeting back in 1914. Lifted by Oscar, an easy grab by Romero. Mentioned the 95 prior meetings. 35 won by Brazil, 36 for Argentina, so this could level the playing field. Copa America, it's been one-sided, a lot of it coming early, but Argentina winning 15, losing just 9 with 8 drawn. Here's William. Most recently, the last 2 have been domestic affairs, 11 and 12 home and away. Felipe Luis making the run, but Neymar again knocked off balance. Good play, Tardelli through for Felipe Luis. Blasts it up and over. Tardelli wanted it back, but Felipe Luis, a mountain full of chances there.
And Tardelli thought he was going to get it back. He had made the run to the center of the box right after giving it to Felipe Luis, and Felipe Luis just had to touch it back. He had Tardelli in space, but decides to go for glory himself and just skies this one right above the goal.
Low far post, maybe a possibility. Went for that high near post and keeps Argentina in it. Danilo. Good ball forward, getting more comfortable than we saw against Ecuador. Tardelli. Deflected away off Di Michelis and out for a corner.
Seeing Tardelli now switching flanks over to the right-hand side of the attack. We saw him a lot dropping back to the left. Sometimes likes to go in the middle, and that's why Brazil right now much more unpredictable than the side we saw in the World Cup.
Romero. Cheating out, now drops back, cleared before it finds Luis. Messi. Beautiful chip for Di Maria, but strong step up Elias. Argentina trying to counter, but Brazil just blocking every outlet. Here's Lamela. Only a couple of true forays forward in the first half. The man on the ball there, Pereira, much more dangerous, although he was out wide on the flank. Here's Messi. Lamela with a gap, couldn't handle the first touch though. Pops up on Di Maria, sneaks it inside, bobbled by Jefferson, but he plucks it out of midair. That's got to be a goalkeeper's nightmare. The ball scrambling in front of you and Messi on the doorstep. Neymar taken down by Fernandez. And a card to come.
Well, if you know Neymar is going to beat you with pace, Fernandez takes option B by just absolutely leveling this little jewel of a player. And so dangerous, Brazil in the open field, especially with Neymar leading the line. And Fernandez knew he was beat and had to take a smart tactical foul there.
Fernandez paired with De Michelis, neither one speedy. Although Fernandez not necessarily slow, he just realizes he's nowhere near as quick as Neymar. Zabaleta, Rojo on the flanks. Pereira, Mascherano, Lamela, Di Maria, the midfield with Messi and Aguero up front. Jefferson in net for Brazil, and he was training a bit during the break, as though there might have been some discomfort, but out there for the second half. Di Maria pocket picked. Miranda and LUIZ. Danilo and Felipe Luis the defense. Elias and Luis Gustavo backing up Oscar Willian and Neymar, with Tardelli pretty much the free rein up front. And it's kind of interesting. He does score his first goal here today, but he's not really an offensive attacker. His job is to read the defense, not so much to draw the defense, but to find out if he moves somewhere, where might that create an opening for others. Messi all the way back in his own half of the field. Messi again out wide with help. Messi to the area. Messi inside for Aguero, just too high. Back to Messi, rattles around. He's not going to get a third chance.
And for Brazil, you take a look at the strikers called up by Dunga: Robinho, Willian, Neymar, Coutinho, and Diego Tardelli. No real out-and-out number 9 there, and you wonder if the position is open. Alexandre Pato comes to mind right away, if he can stay in form.
Well, they've called up Kaká and Robinho, so why not Pato? Off to the near side before Pereira could get there. Back for Fernandez. De Michelis wide on the far side as Mascherano pivots to the inside, changing the angles a bit. Di Maria put so much on it, Lamela couldn't quite react. Neymar colliding with Fernandez, this time getting a call.
Neymar very much the furthest man forward for Brazil, and Brazil can now play more on the counter-attack and just allow Neymar to run at Argentina's defenders. It's going to cause problems for Argentina as they look to press higher and create something of their own. Here in the previous attempt, Miranda does well to stay with Di Maria.
By the way, much has been made of Major League Soccer playing during these FIFA dates. Just to clarify, so does Brazil playing in the Brasileirão. Cruzeiro running away with it, 7-point lead over Sao Paulo. As you talk about Pato, Everton Ribeiro, one of the key players for that Cruzeiro side, is on the bench today. And Palmeiras, who have been struggling a bit, trying to stay above the drop zone. Well, Enrique is there, and he's the leading scorer, along with the Bolivian Marcelo Moreno. So you kind of wonder again if Dunga really opens the door to the domestic game. We've already seen Ricardo Goulart is also having a very good season for Cruzeiro, but not called up here. Out wide, Zabaleta tried to cut the angle, but it had crossed the goal line before Jefferson touched it.
Also for Brazil, talks of Romulo coming in to replace Fernandinho. Played in Russia for Spartak. So very much a revolution now under Dunga. Obviously saw a few things he didn't like with the Brazilian squad at the World Cup and wanted to make the necessary changes.
Felipe Luis. Back through Oscar, now to Miranda, who's looked good under Dunga, but today shown a bit of uncharacteristic nerves. Argentina unable to take advantage, though. Continuing to fight for it. De Michelis, but now left in the wake. Elias into the box, tries to square, and it pinballs around to Romero. And Elias getting in his face. Neymar not happy with the treatment. Wasn't having much success down the left wing, trying to attack down the right.
And on that right, he'd be going up against Demichelis instead of Fernandez.
LUIZ wins it back. Wide for William. Tardelli again, constantly moving. As you said, false nine, but that doesn't even really quite describe him. Maybe in the old true false nine definition. Beautiful from William. The cross deflected, though. It appeared. Not sure if the referee spotted it.
No, William does everything right until that final ball gets by Demichelis. And then looking for the cross, Neymar was on the opposite side of the box, but just can't find him and sends this one way high. Take a look here at Neymar once again, always attacking Argentina's defense, and then that bizarre scuffle between the goalkeeper and Elias.
It's the third or fourth time today that Mascherano showing no remorse at slamming into his Barcelona teammate. By the way, Argentina also playing. They have a full slate of games this weekend. River, as I mentioned, with that draw against Boca, holding on to the top spot, just a narrow 1-point lead over Lanús, who will have to do without their starting goalkeeper, who's on the bench today behind Romero. As this is a friendly, by the way, both teams the full complement of substitutions. We have yet to see one.
Figure it's only a matter of time in this weather. The smog makes it really hard for the players to get some quality oxygen in their lungs as they take those big breaths.
Romero. Line at the 18. Oscar chipping it across. David Luiz gets the touch. It just cleared Miranda and fell for the PSG man, but he could not guide it past Romero. Rojo. Argentina just seems to need a bit more push down the flanks. Brazil's been able to really collapse inside and block those passing lanes for Messi. Gets another chance from Lamela, and again, look how Brazil collapses. Little gap for Agüero. Miranda might have gotten away with a push. Quickly out the other way. Oscar. And it's a foot race with Neymar. Demichelis over, and he takes him out outside the 18. And it looks like again the whistle is silent. Or no, it will be a whistle, but not a penalty.
Oh, Demichelis slamming right into Neymar's thigh. Didn't even care about the ball, just goes right into the Barcelona player. But Brazil doing well, keeping the ball away from Argentina and just allowing Neymar to run in space time and time again. And it's only a matter of time before they really break through.
Could kind of sense that computer clicking in Demichelis' head. Me, Neymar, he's not in the box. Let me kick him. 30 minutes
he is
left.
in the box.
Oscar. Romero fearing a dipping ball to that near post. It's into the middle, goes a little towards that back post, and he reaches to slap it away. Back for Neymar against Mascherano, fighting to win it back from Lamela. Offside though. Luis Gustavo a little late to get back.
Could have been a really dangerous second effort there from Brazil. Sergio Romero was rooted to his spot, parried it out, and in that position, that ball can really land on the feet of anybody.
There, as you see, Gustavo well across the line. Take another look.
Yeah, Oscar just bending it in, looking for that far post. It was a good parry there from Sergio Romero.
Saw Romero, though, as I mentioned, cheating to that near post. He was afraid that Oscar was going to go there, and then had to scramble back the other way. Higuaín, our first substitution. Straight swap, forward for forward. Agüero's day is done. Tardelli scoring in the 28th minute off an errant clearance and defensive miscommunication between Zabaleta and Fernandez. Oh, it's Lamela who has come out. And there's the other half of the substitution. Javier Pastore making his return. Ball back for Zabaleta. In for Messi. They defend that left foot to the death. And he still finds a way. Jefferson bobbles and LUIZ will clear. Rojo. Di Maria. Gets Danilo in the air. But he slams it.
Sergio Aguero wasn't really able to get into the match too much. A few clever exchanges with the other attackers. And now gives space to Gonzalo Higuain, a different striker. Can play with the ball at his feet, much more of an aerial threat though. Can pick up the loose scraps, good positioning. The Napoli forward.
Neymar has to get used to it. And again, Mascherano. Nothing really vicious, just accumulated hits. In fact, a bit surprised we haven't seen a persistent infringement whistled against the Argentine.
And if there's anyone that knows Neymar, it is his teammate Javier Mascherano. Not showing any sympathy though.
Oscar to the inside. Neymar quickly popping up. Javier Pastore, by the way, his 14th appearance. Still waiting for his first goal for Argentina. Willian out wide with Rojo. United against Chelsea in a battle there. Danilo trying to get it free. Neymar kicks it up. Di Michelis knocks it back. And just wide of Romero's net.
Risky there, De Michelis. Sergio Romero now more under pressure. Remember, this is a goalkeeper that hasn't gotten much match time this season. And De Michelis at times maligned. Not unusual to see a silly mistake from the ex-Bayern Munich defender, now at Man City.
Whistled across, headed away, and knocked off Romero, and in. He's done it again. He was scoreless coming in. He's got a brace on the day. Diego Tardelli again taking advantage of a porous back line for Argentina.
Argentina's defenders have to do better, and how many people would have guessed that it would be Diego Tardelli to get the brace here in this match between Brazil and Argentina? It was great work for Tardelli, who was just hanging around that far post. The cross played in by Oscar, and thought David Luiz was going to get ahead to it, but it just whizzes past Luiz right into the path of Tardelli, who's in the right place at the right time. It just needs a simple header. Romero had gotten his hand to it, but I think it was already in the goal by then. And a brace for the Atletico Mineiro striker, who's been quite good today. Floating around, good work rate, also created a few for Neymar. Job well done, Diego Tardelli.
A day to remember for the Atletico Mineiro man. Remember, he was the player that Ronaldinho was using as a foil as Mineiro ran on a South American championship run. Now with Ronaldinho up in Mexico, Tardelli carrying Mineiro a bit. Yeah, both of them opportunistic. He's waiting around in position for something to happen.
Yeah, but Argentina's defenders have to do better. They are just letting the ball get right by them. I thought Fernandez was going to get ahead to that. And left wide open. Where was Marcus Rojo?
And again for Sergio Romero, sliding across. kind of hoping that someone would be able to defend, but never quite got to that back post in time. 2-0 for Brazil. First 2-goal match of the second stint of Dunga. Far side, Pastore. Diego Maradona, the Argentine skipper that gave him his first chance, and it's been a while. Part of that Copa America 2011 side. Sabella never really seemed to show faith. Martino giving him a chance. Oscar. Felipe Luiz back to Oscar. Can't keep it in. Two changes for Argentina, none yet for Brazil. Higuain with his first touch deflects high in the air. Felipe Luis will clear. Strong from Elias. Messi again. Oscar giving chase. Messi, and again Jefferson down quickly.
Well, Messi doing all the right things, and the shot a bit central. Saw him get into a similar position earlier in the second half, and it's definitely one of the most terrifying sights for a goalkeeper when you see Lionel Messi on the edge of the box with his left foot in prime position.
Bit surprised that Martino hasn't made a change in that central defense. Maybe giving Fernandez and Di Michelis a chance to work it out. Here's Willian unselfishly trying to knock the ball back to Neymar, but Di Michelis steals it away.
Well, this certainly isn't the defense we saw in the World Cup from Argentina. And it was great work there, just picking apart that channel in between Di Michelis and Rojo. Willian made a clever run through and was found beautifully. And they look far too easy to break down right now. Very porous at the back.
Again, Dunga in his first stint had the reputation of being very tight to the vest defensively, as did his mentor Carlos Alberto Pereira back in the '94 World Cup. Remember, that was the World Cup decided by penalties. Hated to bring that up for you, Mateo, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ball cleared all the way back to Fernandez. Still seems to have that realization, that mentality, that if you do not surrender a goal, you cannot lose. But he does seem to be giving Neymar and company a bit more free rein. I'd say Dunga a bit more composed, a bit more sure of what he's got than Gerardo Martino is at the moment. 243 days away from the Copa America. Not that far removed from the clasico, as Messi and Neymar will be on the same team just 2 weeks from today. Real Madrid against Barcelona. Pereira. Messi. Good tackle by Felipe Luis, but he just got enough of him, said the assistant.
With all these attacking players for Argentina, you expect a bit better link up in the final third of the pitch. With the likes of Pastore now, plenty of good feet there up front for Argentina, but it seems like the players just aren't on the same wavelength. Still need to build the chemistry.
Driven high, Jefferson no problem, wasted effort. Again, as Argentina pushes forward, Brazil doesn't need many bodies on the break. Tardelli draws, delivers. Here's Willian, back to the man of the hour. Tardelli, no goals coming in, and he's on a hat trick, and that time looked like he tried to dribble through the entire defense to get it.
Yeah, definitely riding high on confidence. Tardelli with his brace today. Great job for him trying to lock up that spot as the starting striker for Brazil. And has definitely done enough today to continue getting that role.
Mentioned Robinho, really the only other forward that's out there. on the bench for Brazil. Threaded near side. Neymar dragged wide. Of course, kind of have a feeling that Fred and Joe not totally out of the picture. Hulk not called in at the moment. beIN Sports.tv. Check out all of the action. African Cup of Nations to follow. And plenty more action during the week before we get back underway in league next weekend. Love to hear from you. Check us out on Twitter or Facebook, as the case may be. Again, Di Maria, such grace, but nothing to give thanks for at the moment. Scooping it, Pastore! Higuain found an opening as Miranda and Jefferson collide, but he's forced to settle for a corner. That's the Javier Pastore that we've been waiting for.
It was a great dink over the top from the PSG man, and I thought Gonzalo Higuain was going to settle it, maybe with his chest, but good defending.
Di Maria slapped away Jefferson straight to Messi, but Tardelli again. Offensively and defensively, a career game for Tardelli. Neymar gives it back straight to Pastore. Here's Higuain in the box against Miranda. Felipe Luis launches himself into the defensive challenge. Neymar dispossessed again, but the little bump by Zabaleta will win it back.
Well, it's interesting to see how Gonzalo Higuain does here. Still really hasn't gotten into top form with Napoli this season. And I wonder how much he's been thinking about that now infamous miss from the World Cup final. And Tata Martino looking on, undoubtedly frustrated with what he's seen. Argentina have created a few chances, played a bit better in the first half, but now just need to find a way to link a few passes together in their own attacking half and push up the fullbacks. Of course, that always runs the risk of getting caught out by this brilliant Brazilian counterattack.
This match in Beijing, but I guarantee you the lights have been on for a long time in Argentina and Brazil, watching as we approach the final quarter hour. That second goal stings a bit. See if Argentina can get something on their half of the scoreboard. Of course, this is just the first of the pair of games during this FIFA date. Brazil scheduled to face Japan, and of course, as we showed you, Argentina will be taking on Hong Kong. Argentina's next match set up against Cristiano Ronaldo in Portugal in November, while Brazil will be taking on Turkey and Austria. The 75th minute approaches. Now, this is the Luis Gustavo we're used to seeing. Felipe Luis getting tangled. Kaká called in along with Robinho. As Brazil still to make a substitution. Danilo. Strong challenge. Mascherano again. Artful, you might say. Messi in and almost hits Di Maria in stride. David Luiz drew a lot of blame for that debacle against Germany. I was of the opinion, though, that David Luiz was trying so hard to cover up for the other 10 guys that might not have been.
Well, the midfielders in front of him, I remember, were quite frankly shambolic.
Into the attack, Oscar sneaks it across. Rojo clears. Willian gets a touch before Mache. Which way will it go? And it will go Argentina's way, to Williams' dismay.
Well, I wonder how much more impressive Brazil would be if they had a true deep-lying playmaker right in front of the defense who can pick out that incredibly precise long ball to find all those forward runs from the wingers.
Enzo PEREZ checking in. Has some creative ability, but a bit more of a true number 8. The Benfica man. I think this might give Pastore a chance. Tardelli flying in. Romero not happy with the ball back or the lack of warning.
Probably could see more of a 4-3-3 now from Martino instead of the 4-4-2 from the first half. Enzo PEREZ maybe playing a bit deeper than Pereira, who likes to play out wide.
PEREZ did have a good game against Germany. Headed to the near side. Well, Martino, a lot of success with Newell's, which earned him the spot at Barcelona. Record start at Barcelona, although the end did not taste as sweet. Big victory over Germany to start his Argentine managerial career. I think he's realizing that the papers won't be that kind, even if this is just a friendly. But he's got his idea. Got to put the pieces in place. And it helps when you have a big one to build around named Lionel Messi.
I have to say, positive performance though. Great 75 minutes from Pereira. The Juventus midfielder was brought in for his work rate and versatility, can play out wide behind the strikers or even deeper in the midfield, and I think he's done everything right in his first match for his country and could be a vital part of what Gerardo Martino does going forward.
If anything, I think they probably didn't utilize him enough down the flanks, but that could be to come. Ball tackled straight to Messi. Elias can't knock him down. Luis Gustavo does.
Well, I'm surprised the referee's not giving cards. He's getting shoulder barged by the Brazilians. I've seen a lot of the referees give yellows to everybody if there's physical contact made, like what we just saw. But there, Luis Gustavo getting back, the defensive midfielder just barges right into Messi, knocks him down. Clear foul. And then not sure what the Brazilians are protesting about. It was a clear knockdown, not even a shoulder to shoulder.
Well, this may be just a yard or two away from his sweet spot, but definite danger in the air for Jefferson. And keep an eye on the charging run. Hasn't been able to hold on to the last few, so maybe on a rebound. 80th minute approaches. Can Argentina cut into the Brazil lead? And 27 yards out, it's Messi, sneaks it in, and Jefferson launches to the near post to slap it away.
Well, that's the second time that Jefferson has had the best of Lionel Messi. First from the penalty spot, and now Messi does well to get it over the wall. Right over the head of Diego Tardelli, aiming for that bottom right corner, and Jefferson read it.
From the corner, swings away, met on the volley by Messi, gets the deflection, lays it back. Di Maria looking for the upper corner, but wide. They're putting pressure on Brazil for the first time this half.
Yeah, they have probably their best set of attacks in the second half for Argentina, who really have not been able to build any sort of tempo or rhythm to their attack. Would like to see them hold possession a bit better and just go for the simple pass. They certainly have the attacking prowess to really pin a team down in their own half, but they are going up against Brazil after all.
Higuain threads through the two holding midfielders, but the ball slammed away. Good look. Pipita now at Napoli, the man that he kind of pushed aside. Edu Vargas had a brilliant game last night for Chile.
Also pushed aside Edson Cavani, El Matador. Higuain not scoring the goals like Cavani did at Napoli, but he has been has definitely lived up to his price tag, which was quite hefty. Nothing astronomical in this new market.
Good ball and a beautiful run. Neymar around Romero, but not under the crossbar. Just beating the trap.
Oh, what a great ball from Luis Gustavo. And the Chinese crowd going absolutely crazy because this man right here coming onto the pitch, Kaká, now at Sao Paulo, replacing Diego Tardelli, who comes off with a brace. Did so well, Tardelli, to try to win over the coach and also a lot of the Brazilian fans watching worldwide. It was a good performance from this man right here. Really gave the Argentine defense no point of reference, and getting replaced by the legendary Kaká, ex-Ballon d'Or winner. Now a much slower player than what we saw in his heyday, and that's why he has taken on a deeper role with Sao Paulo, playing more in the midfield and using more of his vision. But take a look at that ball to find Neymar, who just tried to dink it over the goalkeeper. Seemed to touch offside. Going for the spectacular. Very curious now to see how Kaká is deployed.
Well, you said they were looking for that regista. That might actually be his new position. Always had that vision, but he had that burst of speed. All he needed was that little opening, and he could take care of business himself. I think it's taken a while, maybe not even just for him, but for coaches to realize they needed to utilize him differently. Of course, he'll be headed to Orlando. Miranda hoping that Jefferson would come out, but he didn't want to leave the net open. Loaned out to Sao Paulo at the moment, where he has been quite useful.
Yeah, he's had to reinvent himself. Kaká always relied on his incredible pace with those long strides, always moved faster than what it looked back in his prime with Milan, and now has lost a bit of pace entering his 30s and has had to play a bit deeper, where it's not required of him to really link the midfield with the attack. That's such a fantastic player, very smart tactically. He's never going to be flamboyant with the way he carries himself, but
Messi trying to get through Felipe Luis. He did, the ball didn't. And here is Kaká. Ricardo Leite pushing forward, but the ball doesn't quite make it. Far side, Pastore creates. Higuain not in the center, and that might have been asking a lot. But again, Pastore making a difference off the bench. Seems as though a weight has been lifted off his shoulders. He's always kind of, even in the good times, had a black cloud above his head, but finally seems to be having fun playing the game. Pastore. Lavezzi being hurt. Ibrahimovic as well. Ibra only lasting about 15 minutes in practice for Sweden. Neymar a little hip check. So that's opened the door a bit more for Pastore. I think in many ways people also forget, because he's been around for so long, Pastore's still just 25. Kaká, maybe not the burst of speed, but he knows how to run. Drags Zabaleta with him. Mascherano coming over, triple teamed, and he keeps possession. Oscar. Elias. Bit of an off touch towards Neymar. Argentina can't quite get out of their own way.
Inciting a round of applause every time he gets on the ball, Kaká. The Chinese faithful here at the Bird's Nest loving him.
Decent idea, Di Maria, but Rojo couldn't get there. Willian read it. David Luiz pulling out his protractor on that little chip. Final 5 minutes arrive. Diego Tardelli, both goals sandwiched around a Lionel Messi penalty miss. And I think again, just the way that Tardelli opened space and worked hard on defense, arguably worthy of man of the match. Neymar, a little bump, might have handled the ball, but he's going to get the whistle in his favor this time.
Now the ref calling for the push. Federico Fernandez thought Messi was going to get by him and just nudges him.
Again, Brazil, Japan coming up midweek. Argentina, Hong Kong. Check out beInSports.tv for details. Brazil will be looking to stay perfect in this Dunga era. Well, Gerardo Martino heading back to the drawing board a bit. Just about dead center, but about 40 yards out. David Luiz trying that falling leaf, but it fell right into the hands of Romero.
Oh, it was a very awkward looking free kick from David Luiz, trying to recreate that magical hit from the World Cup.
Pastore showing some speed. Higuain out wide. Threaded back for Mascherano. Here's Messi in the middle. Pastore could have hit Zabaleta, but goes wide for Perez. Enzo PEREZ back for Pastore. Gustavo nipping at his heels. Di Maria keeping it alive. I think back to some of the players that have participated. Messi and Neymar, just two of the most recent. Rojo inside, tried to drop it back for Messi, but Elias knew the spot. And now Willian with a burst of speed. Mache staying with him, though. Oh! Sticks his heel out to get the tackle. Flag comes up, and I think they're going to call a foul. Mascherano not going to argue. Take another look.
Yeah, Mascherano going for the ball and then studs out, catches Willian right on the ankle.
Neymar, Elias. I mentioned, you think back to those names. Dunga, one of them, as a hard man in the midfield. Roberto Martino, another one who maybe came up in a different era, would have seen even more of the spotlight as a player. Going back to Nilton and Djalma Santos, the early days of Pelé, back to Friedenreich. The Argentine side, Batistuta, who Messi is now chasing. Di Stefano.
Dunga and Mascherano sharing a few pleasantries. A bit of a sarcastic thumbs up there, it seemed, from Javier Mascherano.
Well, in many ways, he is Dunga.
Still that fiery approach.
We were talking about this before the match, Matteo. There are a lot of rivalries in the world of soccer. There's nothing like this.
Well, I think this is the match that many people wanted to see as the World Cup final in Brazil. I can't even imagine how that would have been received in South America. It would have been absolute pandemonium. But right now, get to see them, other side of the world. A lot of the domestic clubs, of course, aren't that happy. Remember, in Brazil, the league doesn't stop for international play, so teams like Sao Paulo missing Ricardo Kaká. Luis van Gaal also voices displeasure to see Ángel Di Maria, after a busy set of a few games, having to travel all the way to China, play a game, and then go back to England, presumably tired. But obviously, you know that this is coming when you do sign the South American players.
A similar story, Juve. Arturo Vidal apparently re-aggravating that injury, and as he heads back to Juve, they might have to go without him. To this point, thank goodness, no one injured, at least of note. David Luiz will exit to make sure it stays that way, as Gil will step on, the 27-year-old, just his second appearance.
Yeah, like for like,
out of Timau.
Gil, 6'4", big center back, plays for Corinthians, ex-Valenciennes.
Came in against Ecuador as an extra defender. Little touch from Luis Gustavo goes awry. Back to Di Michelis. What a year it was for him. I don't want to say he was trapped at Malaga, but ends up going to Man City, and after a bit of a rough start, turned into a club hero down the stretch. Made it all the way to the final for his national team as well, when it appeared as though he was in the dustbin. And even here with a new coach and a new cycle, the 33-year-old Di Michele is still around. Miranda hoping to lay claim to a starting spot for Brazil on the other side. Looking long, LUIZ, but off target. Pastore again, a bit of a difference maker in the second half, but no sign yet of the amount of time added. Would be surprised if it's less than 3. Ball headed down. LUIZ up to Willian. Fakes out Di Maria. Rojo giving chase. It's a bit of a bobble, and he's forced to try and catch up. Well defended, Di Michelis.
Good job, Di Michelis, coming up from his central defensive position just to stop Willian, who's been trying to break loose on that right-hand side. Still haven't seen much of the Chelsea man.
Luis Gustavo proving difficult to beat, even for Messi. Pastore giving chase. Advantage played. Felipe Luis to Oscar, who's going to have 90 minutes in his book.
And take a look at where Kaká's playing, very much in the middle of the park. And gets that free roam to venture forward.
A buzz building. He's not going to call his own number much these days. Wide for Willian. Oscar at the top of the box. Kaká lurking as well. Nice ball, Willian into the middle, slapped away by Romero. Chance for Neymar, and down goes Sergio to make the stop.
Brilliant from Neymar, faking the shot and just taking it so softly back down to the ground, and then going for the second attempt where he had more space. Just a bit central from Neymar. 2 golden chances for him throughout the match.
Fighting free, Messi hurdles LUIZ, hampered by Miranda, and finally draws the whistle. Maybe a chance to finally get a goal as Miranda and Messi collide again.
Miranda keeps getting hammered every time he tries to make a run to this Brazilian defense. Gustavo has been all over him. LUIZ as well. Just trying not to give him any space to operate. 2 men always closing down Messi and Neymar, and that's the respect that really they deserve.
'28th minute, Tardelli. Messi missed from 12 paces 4 minutes before the break, and just after the hour, Tardelli scored again. Maybe the final swing of the leg, and again the Brazilians spending more time arguing with the ref. Just under 30. It's Messi, just wide. And it looked like Jefferson had the angle covered.
Messi
that
doing
will
well.
do it. The match is over. 2 from Tardelli, and Messi's miss. Brazil with the 2-0 victory.
Well, not too many people expected this to be the Diego Tardelli show, but that's very much what it turned out to be like, with a brace for the Atlético Mineiro man. Messi held a bit quiet. Neymar, few golden opportunities, did well when he ran right at the back line. But so far, Brazil reinstating their world dominance against such a fierce rival like Argentina.
Danilo and Jefferson exchanging pleasantries. The fans in Beijing cheering on. Well, Robinho coming in, it looked like it was going to be the final whistle. You saw Messi strip off the captain's armband. We might not be done yet. Neymar looks like he's going to exit to give the fans a reason to cheer once more, and he hands it over to Kaká.
Well, that's a great sight to see. Neymar, the new generation, handing it over to Kaká, a legendary player in his own right.
Once the best in the world, and Neymar maybe soon to be the best in the world.
Yeah, really much a changing of the guards. And Neymar was knocked around a bit, as he usually is in many matches. And even the man coming on for him someone that he's regarded as an idol and someone he's looked up to. Said it was an honor to play him when they were in a domestic match, Robinho with Milan. And Robinho always such a different player on the national team than his domestic form that we've seen for the past few years. Always lives up to the colors he's representing with Brazil.
Approaching the 97th minute. Looks like the referee, well, finally puts this one in the books. And Dunga not happy with some of the last-minute collisions, but he has to be happy with the scoreline. 2-0 on 2 Tardelli goals. Kaká's return to the national team picture, one of the stories, and maybe, perchance, to see more action midweek against Japan.
Oh, brilliant from Tardelli. Didn't see much from Lionel Messi, and Neymar does well in open space, just missing the goals.
Take another look. It was good for Argentina, but not good enough. A missed penalty for Messi, their best chance. And Tardelli, Diego on the spot. For Matteo Bonetti, I'm Phil Shane. Thanks for joining us. It's Brazil 2, Argentina 0.